Okay, thank everyone for coming. Today we will have Professor Andrew Perry from Springfield College talk about enhancing a differential equation class with artificial intelligence. Thank you.
Thank you. And I want to thank the organizers, all the organizers, for inviting me to this talk. Oh, here we are. I'm going to share a screen and it should be working now. Okay, so I'm Andrew Perry at Springfield College. Um, Springfield College is a small private college. We have a small math major. We don't have multiple differential equations classes, and we don't get really fancy with differential equations. A lot of our math majors go on to become teachers, so they need a good solid basic differential equations class. And I hope no one has extraordinary expectations of this talk. I have a lot of experience using AI to enhance my class, and it's really helped me a lot. And I can see some other things that have been done. Um, but actually, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more that can be done that I don't even know about. But I'm just going to shed some light on some things that I have done or some things that I have thought about doing. And I think that really the sky's the limit. So this is a pretty exciting, important area, I think. So, um, the context of this talk, it is, I mean, I'm just basically telling you all about the kinds of ways that I have used AI and the kinds of ways that I'm really thinking about using AI. Um, the most important one, I mean, some of these things are pretty simple, but they're also pretty important to me. Scanning and digitizing handwritten notes, because I used to always teach this class, and I would take notes of all my classes to be able to use them in the future, of course. And being able to digitize them has been really useful. Um, I am only partway through this course, but already I've had a great deal of success and enjoyment out of generating tests and answer keys. Same thing with custom homework sets. That's fantastically useful. Um, Drawing figures, Tixie is a great program, and I don't really know much about using LaTeX, but AI does everything for me as far as generating LaTeX code. So most of my requests to ChatGPT involve, I say, give me your response in LaTeX. Um, Now, some additional uses would be to encourage the students to use AI as an automated tutor. And I already use it myself as an automated tutor for anything I want to learn about, including parts of math. Um, I haven't really talked with my students, honestly, about AI that much, but I think I want to show them how they might use it, and I think that could really benefit them a lot. Um, Certainly giving explanations of topics, also symbolic computation. ChatGPT really stinks at some kinds of queries, but it's fantastic at others. It's fantastic at doing mathematical computations. It seems to always be accurate if you ask it to verify a solution of a differential equation, or even to solve the kind of differential equation that we would solve in class. No problem. You could also do mini research and explorations. So let me talk more about these specific things. So why is AI so great? Well, honestly, for me, it's um, I'm I'm lazy like everyone is. To some extent, I want to automate tasks like creating assignment solutions and tests. Um, because when I automate them or semi-automate them, it saves time and the work product is better. And I do have to always check the AI to make sure it's not lying to me because it will lie. but it's a lot easier to make a request and look at what AI says and then tweak it than to just write everything out from scratch every time. Um, Personalization, AI can just do what you want. It can ask questions at the right levels. So I tailor my test a little bit more systematically now. It allows for interactive learning experiences. In theory, you could use live chat bots and on-demand diagram generation. This is not something I've done yet. And also, this is in theory. I haven't really worked with this with my students, but I do want to get my students working with the AI to experiment with modeling differential equations. And of course, a lot of these things apply to any math course. For example, you can ask the AI to ask it why first order linear ODEs need only one initial condition and a short scenario from everyday life. And it gives you this example. It could say, talk about the modeling of cooling of coffee in a mug. So this could be useful for me to ask just to generate ideas for my lecture, or it could be useful for the students themselves to ask. Handwritten notes. Um, well, I've always been scanning my handwritten notes, and that's okay. That's okay. So I can use them from term to term. It's so much better when everything's digitized. It's less likely to be lost. And I have a 30 or 40 page document that just has a course's worth of materials. In the past, my notes would have taken up 2 or 3 times the space, but when everything is typewritten, it's clean, it's compact. I can share the LaTeX copy online, and students will benefit from that reference. And it certainly benefits me a lot as far as organization. You can just take a picture of your notes. That's how I always do it. And like here's a really detailed prompt, but just you can just ask tech. You can ask AI. You can ask ChatGPT. Please convert to LaTeX, and it will do a perfectly good job at it. Fantastic in tests. Fantastically efficient. It will create your tests based on your specifications. It will generate um, answers to whatever level of difficulty you want. You do have to check the answers. Once in a while, it will lie. It'd be pretty embarrassing if the answer was totally out of left field and you shared it with your students. You have to check them, but ChatGPT is pretty good at that. And it's even pretty good at suggesting ideas. If you say, here's this quiz that has 5 questions, think of some more related questions. It will give you some ideas that you can accept or reject. So if you ever want to use multiple choice questions, I don't use them all the time, but I use them sometimes, and especially with a larger class. It's really, in my mind, very annoying to make up the distractors to make up all the possible answers, but ChatGPT is really fantastic at it. So there is an example. Custom homework sets, pretty much the same as the tests. And normally with my textbook, normally there's a decent enough source of homework exercises, and maybe it's enough for most students, but some students just need a lot of practice. The lower end of the class sometimes really needs a lot of practice to keep drilling it until it gets through to them, and the upper end of the class, maybe the overachievers that just want to do more. And if you use the textbooks I've been using, I still use paper textbooks. I use an old edition, actually, differential equations textbook that where I bought a few copies of it and I give it out to all the students every semester. But whatever paper textbook you're using, there's only going to be a limited number of problems, but AI will help you get all the problems you want pretty quickly. And I don't use an LMS, but you certainly could integrate this with your LMS if you do use one. Here's an example. Create a set of 8 practice problems on second order homogeneous differential equations with constant coefficients, starting easier and getting harder, and include brief solutions. And I've done this sort of thing all the time. And it's not that often that it gives me exactly what I want the first time around. But then you can take its response and look at it and think, they're not really hard enough. I need a few more difficult questions or whatever. A lot of the time it surprises me by giving an answer that's not quite what I wanted, and yet it will give me what I want on the second try or the third try. Um, Diagram generation. I don't really know about using TIC-Z myself. I never really bothered to learn it that well, but AI is fantastic about taking all the technical details off of my hands, and it's really helped me enjoy using LaTeX more than I used to, because I don't have to worry about figuring out how to do something. It's really totally a LaTeX master. So here's an example of a possible prompt. Provide me with TIC-Z code that draws direction field for the ODE, y prime equals x minus y, for that range of x and y with small arrows. And it's great at that kind of thing. So I've used this for learning math myself. Recently, if you want to learn a new topic and you don't want an entire solution, you can just ask it for a hint. And it's pretty smart. It knows. I am a little bit worried about encouraging my students too much to use AI because obviously over relying on it would be a big problem. So when we're discussing this with our students, we should encourage them to use this to verify answers and to reflect on the math and to develop their own conceptual understanding and have them rely as minimally as possible on AI. Just like if we're working on them one-on-one office hours, we don't want to just spit out all the answers and ask them if there's anything else. We want to nudge them forward by helping them get over whatever hurdle they're working on, um, and letting them do the work themselves to whatever extent they can. So if they have the self-discipline to use AI properly, AI can really serve as a tutor that is in some ways better than a human math professor. Unfortunately for us, those of us who want to keep our jobs, it can do a lot of things that we can do. Some things better. So here's like one way to ask it. Could you give me a hint, but not the full solution yet? And it's great at giving hints. And it will explain things in simpler terms, or will explain things in great technical detail. It will explain things at a high school level, or it will explain things at a doctoral level. Um, and can definitely help with teaching prep. Uh, I feel like I don't want to be too redundant here. I mean, this is something else you can ask it. Give me a 1 paragraph summary of the method of undetermined coefficients. AIs can do a lot of things that other programs like Mathematica and Wolfram Alpha can do. It's nice that sort of one-stop shopping, that it can do symbolic manipulation, certainly solving ODEs, partial fractions, computing integrals. Students can check for mistakes quickly. For example, demonstrate verifying a solution y of x by plugging it into y prime prime minus 3y plus 2y automatically. For example, I believe x squared e to the 3x is the solution to this differential equation. Please verify it. And it will show you all the steps. It will show you all the work. And this is most exciting. This is something I haven't really tried so much, but I really want to help students become involved with their own more advanced explorations, not just solving a particular differential equation, but really getting good at the hard parts of the subject, like looking at models of logistic growth, predator-prey systems, or what have you. AI should be able to quickly give you solution graphs, parameter sweeps, stability analyses. Um, so this could be bringing the students that much closer to real computational research experiences. For example, here is a predator-prey system, and you can ask, in some sense, if you ask it to do all the work, in some sense, you're taking away from yourself, but it could really help you to understand what's going on. And if it is doing all the work for you, if it's doing all the heavy lifting for you, then you can focus a little bit more on the concepts. You can look at what would happen if the different initial conditions change. Seems like a lot of fun. So, in general, AI can help with faster creation of tests, solutions, and lecture material, customization for different student needs, enhanced visualization, immediate explorations of differential equations problems. We have to always watch out, check the AI outputs for correctness. Academic integrity is a big issue. Myself, when I give tests, I still use pencil and paper because it would be very easy to cheat. It would be very easy for students to cheat on a lot of types of tests if you allowed them to use a computer. It's hard to detect AI use in all kinds of subjects. So we have to watch for academic integrity, and we always have to be careful with any kind of technology to make sure that AI is no substitute for learning fundamentals. It's going to be a difficult walk to walk, a difficult tightrope to walk using AI properly and most efficiently. But it's pretty exciting.